Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Hallmark Guy Podcast. I am Baptiste, the Hallmark Guy, and in this episode, I'm going to recap and review a 2026 Hallmark Channel movie. We're going to talk about True Justice and Eye for an Eye, the second installment in the True Justice franchise. We waited 2.5 years almost for this movie. The first movie premiered like beginning of 2024. So almost 2.5 years after the first one, more than a year after they shot it, we finally got it. And it premiered on Saturday, May 23rd, 2026 at 8/7 Central on Hallmark Channel. Starred Catherine McNamara. I watched a YouTube video right before recording to hear how to pronounce his name, and I'm probably going to mess it up. I'm so sorry. Markin Tarasiuk, Marissa McIntyre, Alexander Nunes, Nikki DeLoach, and Benjamin Ayers. Like for the previous mystery movies I have recapped and reviewed on the podcast, I am not going to do a full recap of the movie for different reasons because um, it's not like the rom-coms where we know they're going to get together in the end, we just don't know how. In the mysteries, there's all the little parts of the investigation, and oh, you think it's the one they did it, and then oh no, they did it. So all that kind of stuff. I wanted, I it's different to spoil a rom com than to spoil a mystery because the rom com again, you know how it's going to end, you just don't know how. The mystery, it's all the investigation that's fun. And I want people to be able to enjoy the movie without spoiling it. And I personally don't know why, but Hallmark Mysteries, a few weeks after, I don't know, a few weeks, few months, I don't remember who the killer is. So I can just rewatch them over and over and over again because I never remember. So I want to keep that for myself. So selfishly, I want to be able to rewatch these movies without being spoiled. So I'm just going to use the IMDb synopsis, and it'll make for a shorter episode. I'm sorry, but the synopsis is amateur sleuth tackle a fresh challenge at a local school, diving into the fierce world of parent politics. Their investigation uncovers hidden agendas and unexpected alliances as they navigate the complex web within the community. So we're going to jump right into what worked for me. And what worked for me is I like the ensemble idea. I like that kind of makes me think of like Scooby-Doo and the Mystery Gang, Mystery Incorporated. That's kind of what they are. They're four and missing a dog, but they're four, like Scooby-Doo. And I like the idea of the ensemble and like, oh, you go do that and you go do that, and they all and then they all work together and like they have kind of like their headquarters or something. And I think that's fun to have the group kind of work together and see all the different things that they can do with the group, and all individuals doing their own thing to help with the group, which I think is pretty fun, and I like that. I liked, and I can't remember because I did not rewatch it, but I can't remember they did that in the first one. But I like the integration into the murder and investigation scenes. So the movie starts and they get the case and they tell what happened with the murder, like what's the case, what's the murder, and then we see them on the scene of the murder when they found, like, I think someone finds the body, and they're right there, like if they were there, but they're not there, but they're there just to tell the story. And then same thing in investigation, they're in the room when they tell in the end what happened. They're in the room when it happens, but they're not really there, but they're there to tell what happened. And I thought that was pretty cool, and I really liked that the integration of the characters as they were speaking, telling the story on the scene of the story. And we see them. I like the shots when first in the beginning when they get the case and they tell what happened. The different shots of them being them in the daylight, being there in the daylight, and then being there at nighttime with, I think, police. I think that's what happened. They're the police, and like they're there, and like everyone's acting around them because they're not there, but we see them there, but they're not there. And I think the shot at night was really cool, and I really liked that. What I did not like, I would have liked a surprise in the end. Without spoiling it, the culprit was a suspect almost from the start. And I think that what I like about the Hallmark mysteries is that we think it's someone, and then in the end, it turns out to be someone else that maybe we thought about a little bit, but not really. And there's just like, okay, it was one of them. So I was like a little disappointed, or we still got an element of surprise because it was not what we thought it was, but still, I would have liked a little more. Oh, and actually, that person, and that did not happen. not enough Nikki and Benjamin. I think Nikki was in like two scenes, and I mean, she wrote the movie. She was busy with something else, um, and the movie's not about her. But I would have liked more Nikki and Benjamin. Benjamin was we saw a little more, but still like maybe four or five scenes. Again, the movie's not about them, but I mean, I love them, so I would have liked a little more of them. And 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 it's my fault because I could have rewatched the first one before seeing the second one, but it had been so long since the first one that I did not remember the things that happened in the first one. So some personal dynamics between the characters and stories that kind of carried from the first one, I was kind of lost because like I don't remember. I have a general idea, but not really. Some things to point out. It is pretty different from any other Hallmark mystery. For one, I don't know why, but it seems darker. I feel like also it had kind of, I think it's called the letterbox. The letterbox. Letterbox is the app. The letterbox. Let me just check on my phone because I think it is called letterbox. The dark line above and below the yeah, it's called letterboxing. The when you have the image, but then you have black and black. If would usually see that in more like theatrical movies, so that made it different. And I talked about the investigation about um, knowing, like in the end, it's one of the suspects. The investigation part seems different because they do not find a body like any other mystery. A case is brought to them, and I mean, and that's what the movie's about. They are law students, but like they do the legal and kind of slash investigative work because they kind of do like still what our sleuths do and like go undercover and stuff like that. What our favorite sleuth thriller movies do, but like they do the legal investigative work. And that's the point of the movie. That it makes the dynamic different. I feel like, which is okay, but it's you have all the other Hallmark mysteries, and these ones stand out as a different type, which I think it's cool. And the movie was shot so long ago. It was shot in 2025 and in the beginning of 2025 because it's winter with a lot of snow. Um, so 2025, and it's weird because they look at the case on their laptop and it says 2025 on it. Well, yeah, I don't think they thought it would air in May 2026. So yeah, and final thing, and it could go with something that I like. The they are in Philadelphia, but they investigate something in a county that's outside of Philadelphia, and so even though we don't see a small town, it still gives a small town vibe. So I like that because you know that I like small town, especially for mystery. I like when it's in small town. So that was cool. That was great. Final thoughts. Good movie. Hopefully, it won't take another almost 2.5 years to get the third one because it has been shot. And Nikki announced, stay tuned for that one. So hopefully, it won't take that long because I support mysteries. I like when we get mysteries. It's not my favorite franchise, but I'm always happy when we get mysteries. So and I mean, I don't feel like any new ones are in development. I mean, we might be done for the year. We might get in Hannah Swenson next year and something like that. But yeah, with Hallmark Mystery Channel, not really know where it's going. I mean, kind of know we won't get new originals probably, but yeah, it's always cool to say, okay, we're still fighting. We're still up. We're still alive. Nikki wrote that movie, co-wrote that movie, and she's very talented at writing because you have to come up with everything. And I think it's especially mystery, it kind of makes it harder because you also have to know kind of lingo and then the police language and all that and come up with twists and turns. And yeah, so I give it a 3.5. And yeah, hopefully it won't take that long for the third one. And it was, what was really cool? I tagged the actors in my story about me watching the movie, and like most of them saw it. Catherine and Nikki reposted, so it was pretty cool. My sister watched Catherine's show, Shadowhunters, and so I screenshotted and said, "Who reposted my story?" She's like, "Oh my god, that's so cool!" So yeah, just a little bragging here. But that is it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know in the comments what you thought of the movie. Like, subscribe, and follow the Instagram at the Hallmark Guy Podcast. And I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye.